Hello and welcome to our weekly show, Let's Talk. As you all know, for the past few weeks, we have been covering various sectors and topics, including hospitality, banking, education, health, and many more. This week, we have decided to cover something that has been on everyone's mind. And this week, we decided to talk about how COVID-19 had an impact on the small, medium enterprises, as we say SMEs, in the Sultanate of Oman, the businesses, the entrepreneurs, and so on. And for that matter, we have two esteemed guests joining us today. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Ahmed Al-Houthi, who's the Head of Economic Research at Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And with him, we have Mr. Odba Al-Harmali, who's the Head of Oman Academy for SMEs. Thank you so much to both of you for joining in. Welcome to the show and wishing you a very happy Ramadan Kareem to you both.
Happy Ramadan and Mubarak to you, to your colleagues, and to His Majesty Sultan Haytham, and our country and our people, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. I hope this Ramadan, things start looking up, not just in the Sultanate, but around the world, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So, Dr. Ahmed, I'm going to start with you first. We have been talking about the COVID impact on various sectors in the Sultanate. And small, medium enterprises, something that everybody has been talking about since the beginning of the pandemic. In your opinion, how do you see the shift or the impact of COVID-19 on this particular sector?
Thank you. As you know, 90% of our enterprises and companies in Oman, which is listed in OCCI, are SMEs. And therefore, it makes sense that it's the biggest part of our economy, the SMEs. Therefore, the effect of and the impact of the pandemic was hard, and we could say it was a bad circumstances we faced. Now we could say it's a difficult circumstances where we lift back the pandemic. Of course, there is some positive numbers where the SMEs, which is listed in Riyadh, increased 35 to 36%, and we reached to 67,000 enterprises right now. And this makes us happy, but on the other hand, we need to help our SMEs where they are actually facing some problems in the courts. They have some cases over there. Some others, they closed their business. Others are, job hunting now. So I believe from now till the end of this year, we have to work hard. We need to actually have open dialogue between the government, the SMEs, the big companies, and the government companies to find out solutions and initiatives which could help the sector to come back again and to start up again.
Right. Mr. Odba, what do you have to say about it?
First of all, thanks for this opportunity. And we'll start with the contribution of our SME sector in our economy is above 13% as a last number which we can see. And I think, in my view, maybe the second after the government for term of employment. And with the COVID, and because it wasn't planned, the COVID has come up very quick, and it was a surprise for a lot. Government, SMEs, large corporates. So the plan was not there, okay? And we cannot plan with this type of environment or cases.
Right.
Yeah. So the effect was really, I can say, bad in terms of the financial and sustain of those SMEs. Okay, we can see a lot of SMEs that close it up. Okay, a lot of them that start changing the way of doing business. Okay, some of them they went to get a loan from different places, okay, to cover the operation costs. A lot of foreigners who used to be working in SMEs as well, they returned back to their country, which is a little bit bad for these SMEs because they lost a lot of experience and connection. Okay, the cash flow, majority of those SMEs, they lost the cash flow. Okay, and I hope after 2 years, the lesson that we got it, we'll learn about it, and I hope as well that the government will work closely, okay, with the large corporate, with SMEs, with our full ecosystem business, okay. The corporate now is required, not only the injection, the cash, no, the corporate, okay, the link between the full ecosystem now is required.
Right. You know, Dr. Ahmed, you said, I actually assume that now after 2 years that we can see that COVID is fading in the Sultanate. I thought things would, you know, start looking up, getting better, but you used the word that now the time is still difficult. So when you say the time is still difficult, what do you really mean by that?
Okay. 80% of our SMEs lose. So they make losses. Only 20% of our SMEs, they survive from these due to different, reasons. 60% of these SMEs, they change their business also, as Otpa said. And some of them already, they left the market and they've been job hunted. When you said, and you are asked, where is the problem? The cost of doing business is too high. During the pandemic, it becomes more than before the pandemic. The government itself, raised the service fees for electricity, for water. The logistics went up. Raw materials itself, it went up. The salaries, fees, taxes, all of these have been there, and there was no income enough to cover these expenses. So today, when you are asking me how we could recover after 2 years, I think it was bad, but today these kind of difficulties are there. Of course, during these days, we heard from His Majesty that there could be some, you could say, reforms in different areas, and they reduced some fees for the labor fees, and there was some other fees, like municipality fees, which have been reduced. But still, the cost is high. One of the enterprises was paying a bill of 200 riyal per month for a restaurant. Today, he's paying 500 riyal for electricity bill. So how they gonna recover, or how they're going to do a business in a good environment, where we was asking the government all the time not to close the airports, not to close the country, keep things easy as in other countries. And at the same time, most of the countries in what we see in Europe and US, they was, paying for these SMEs. At least they cover their 50% of their expenses, and so they recover very fast. But here, it's still, we are facing some difficulties.
Right. Mr. Odba, do you also agree with Dr. Ahmed when he's saying that the time is still difficult, although the COVID is going away, but the recovery time is taking a lot?
And I think it's going to take more longer. Okay, let's not forget, in the engine of our national economy, money spent by the government. That's from 70s. when the government spend, a lot of things move. Okay, so they spend it up through contracts, okay, through a lot of things like, okay, salaries, whatever incentive, employees that get it up on this one. And this money move from government to large corporate, SMEs, their family, everybody. So usually our circle is government spending, go to large corporate, SMEs. So when there is a cut on money, there's no spending. Okay, we can see in different sectors in SMEs, like a barber shop, more than 7 months they're closing from where they'll get the money.
Right.
Okay, a lot. Restaurant. Okay, the culture as well of spending money in the restaurant changed a lot during the 2 years of COVID. Okay, so they have to shift it to different type. Okay, of course, I can call them luxury food or luxury or what I can, yeah, you can say like a luxury food, okay, which is a new type of this etiquette and this one, who suffer a lot when you talk about burgers and this and this. A burger shop, which before COVID, everywhere. Now you can see majority of them have been closed.
True.
Okay, people return back to the basic type of food. Okay, now they're very careful on spending money. So if the consumer are very careful on spending the money, 100% the SMEs will be affected, especially who provide service and product which is not a basic on the life of the people. Okay, and that's why SMEs as well, they need to start looking outside Oman, the market of outside Oman. Not only waiting for contract from the large company, as well looking for the, I can say the consumer or the customer around them. Okay, there's a lot of good examples who started looking behind the village, behind the town, outside Muscat. Okay, and also the lesson that we learned it up. Okay, and during COVID, people that don't require now a big building or shops and this one to sell their product. Okay, through online, they did that one. But this was very hard lesson, and I'm sure until the money starting coming up to the market. Now we have a shortcut of cash. Okay, I mean, frankly, even the price of oil went up, everything. Right. Okay, but the shortcut of cash within the majority of people, okay, we're going to affect a lot of SMEs. Okay, and also the subsidy, government subsidy, been cut it up. I agree with Ahmed what he said. Okay, electricity went up, water went up. Okay, labor, not forgetting, moving up from clearance.
VAT also came in between.
Yeah, okay, but a lot of things. So instead of spending 100 riyal, you're gonna end up spending 200. Okay, I'm like a father now. If I go to shop, the thing we say used to buy for 10 riyal, I end up paying 15 riyal. Okay, so these things are going to affect a lot of SMEs because SMEs depended up by cash which been pumped up in the market.
Right.
Majority of them. Right. So until the money started circulated again, the cash starts circulated again, I'm sure it's going to take a long time.
Right.
Okay, and majority of SMEs now, they don't have the operation cost to cover. Okay, so what they're going to do, they'll close it up until they get the money to start operate. It's like a car. You don't start, no petrol. Now we have the cars, but we don't have the petrol.
Yes.
Okay, now this is a situation of SMEs.
So what I'm understanding, Mr. Odba, that spending power has a direct impact on the SMEs
100%,
in the country.
100%.
So if the spending power goes down, the SMEs are also going to face the consequences of it.
Yes. I'll give you an example, like let's talk about barbershop. Before COVID, okay, we had a lot of, I can call them a 5-star barbershop. Okay, like people go over there spending 5, 10 riyal, 20 riyal just to have a haircut. Those SMEs. Okay, within the COVID, people that think twice, especially men,
right,
to spend 2 riyal on barber. Okay, so people that started looking now for the basic. Okay, not forgetting the big number who retire 2 years ago. That was a large amount of money went out of the market. Okay, so where the SMEs will get the money if not from the consumer?
Right.
Depending by contract or tender, which they're going to get it up within the 10%. But as well, that one disappear.
Right.
Okay, or the number come down. So the cash is not there in the market.
Right, that does make sense. You know, like the spending power has a direct impact on the SMEs, which honestly I did not think about it. I thought that SMEs have, you know, the SMEs are facing troubles because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But I think everyone, you know, everyone has to work together to help with the recovery. Dr. Ahmed, you pointed out, you know, the challenges that were being faced or still being faced by the SMEs. What kind of help or what kind of assistance is really required here to help revive this industry again?
First, let's see where is the weakness of the economy, and then we will come to your question. We have limited job or business opportunities available right now, and then, of course, I mean, to answer your question, we have to open the country, we have to open the business, we have actually to pump more money in the economy so we could get much more opportunities for business. The regulations itself, very low, and it takes time. So you have to keep it fast. If you want people actually to invest and to do business, you have to encourage them, you have to put this regulation very fast.
Right.
The cost, I mean, production cost has been going up maybe 60–70%. Who will recover this? You have to think about it, and you have to, I mean, re-put the cost again and find out if these fees which have been put in the last 2 years, it helps the country, the economy, or not. The spending money here in the economy, not only from the government side, also the people. Today, if you have 60,000 unemployment, and imagine if you get job for these 60,000 Omanis, you are talking about 60,000 houses. Could be built, it could be, I mean, doing a lot of activities. They will do, I mean, they will buy different kind of products. So this could help the country. Today you will find the law from this ministry is just, I mean, different than the other, and it's complicated altogether. So
yes.
It's not matching. There is no enough transparency from the government ministers, from the private sector, whom they are, I mean, in the big companies. So no one knows what's happening, or how we could actually do business.
Right.
This is, and also the weakness of the media. Today, you have 3 or 4 volunteers, you could say, but they are taking money in the social media. They are just there in our country. You can't find others. So there is a lack of media and coverage. We have also the financial side, where you can't find any help financially from banks or from funds, which could tell you that, okay, we will give you a loan for 2% just to recover, or just to return back to the business.
Right.
Today you will find some, I mean, ministries against some SMEs in the court. And these ministries, they give the opportunity to these people to work, and today they are against them in the court. I think we have also to make the skills, this is maybe Utba's job, to increase the skills of our SMEs much more, to understand the situation and how we could actually recover from all of these. And we have to work in the program of diversity of, economy.
Yes.
Still we are, since, I don't know, 10 years ago, and we are talking about the different, sectors, still we are just focusing on one main sector, which is oil and gas.
Right.
Training is not that, affected as we wanted in our business. So this is some of these challenges which you are talking. I think if we find solutions for it, then we are fine. We can't, cover all the difficulties once. But if we start with this covering and finding solutions for this kind of challenge, I believe we will be on the right track, and we could actually, move faster.
Yes. Mr. Rodba, those were some really hard challenges and a long list of challenges that Dr. Ahmed just mentioned.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about it?
First of all, and it's my personal view, okay, what government did to cut up the spending was a necessity at that time. Okay, and I agree with them that there's a lot of things should be cutted to save the money, to save this one, just to make things move it up slowly. Okay, and so that type of decision was quick to be implemented, which really hurt a lot of SMEs. Okay, if that decision had been taken up for 5 years plan or something, it was okay. People can copy with it and adopt the change it up. The decision was very quick, so some of them couldn't copy. Talking about as well skill, which Dr. Ahmed mentioned. Of course, 100% I agree with that one. When you talk about the skill, what need, okay, before, what majority of the training courses we can say for SMEs and this one, they're talking about how you can do a business plan, okay, or financial, how you can read a financial. But there's new skills that you're going to require, especially like financial challenge, okay? That's none of the, before, COVID, was very, very few of SMEs that went through that one.
Right.
Okay. And also, let's see what I can say, the skills, because let's see, for example, I don't want to mention the areas of Oman, but I'll mention, you have a dakhaliya. A dakhaliya, okay, from their young, they will work in the shops, so they work in different places with their family, with this one, they grow up with the mentality of business. Okay, so it's totally different, somebody who grow up with a business mentality, this one, than somebody just after he finished the school and jump it up to a business. Okay, it's totally different. So when you talk about entrepreneurship, we're talking about business mentality, this should be done before, okay, not after the graduate from the college. So you build the mentality slowly, slowly, okay, because when you talk about somebody who graduates is, say, 23 years old, okay, but if he start working with his family, okay, be involved, so you talk about 20 years experience, okay, he'll learn from his father, from his family, from a lot of things, okay, and sometimes we're going to have to say thanks for COVID, because COVID reshaped our economy.
Right.
Okay, reshape our skills. Okay, now we can see a lot of online, for example, the technology companies, they're starting working in different way, which never happened before. Oil and gas, of course, they're sustained because they are major. Talking about the service, okay, service industry, except hotels, the hotel been affected a lot.
Yes.
The service industry adopt new things as well. Okay, we talk about industrial, that's our major challenge. Okay, a lot of it have been closed because of, first of all, majority of raw material coming from outside have been affected up. Okay, labor, which type of skill that we're gonna require to operate this, okay, disappear. Okay, a lot of things need to be adopted now, not after 5 years. Okay, to make our recover quick.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna wait up for 5 years. That's mean another solution, another situation to be here for 5 years.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
Yes. Dr. Ahmed, you really emphasized on ease of business in the country. that ease of business should be there to, like you both agree that we need to work more quicker and faster. Now, when I asked you about what kind of assistance and help do you need to have that kind of ease, what do you have to say? What exactly are you looking for?
I think first we have to find a way to, to give loans without interest. If it could be, then I think it helps us a lot. Where these SMEs, they took the loans with very high interest rate, and today they cannot pay that much. Of course, banks sometimes they help, but I think it's very difficult. We have to find a way to get them having these kind of loans with the low interest rate. It could help. Then we have to reduce the fees for all services and keep the capability of doing business for SMEs easy and cheaper than what's available maybe in the region or around us. The regulations has to be easier and fast in the next days, where sometime if you want just to reduce the number of your employees, it's a headache. You can't do it just once, take action and do it like that. It's very difficult, where you have to run here and there and find out from this ministry to the other ministry. It's unfair to keep a company suffering and you can't get to the solutions very fast. Yes. And do it.
So the process should be much more crisp, much more shorter for the person to understand what's happening.
Of course, it's look like a sick man. He's in a very dangerous situation. You are taking him to the emergency, and then they will say, no, we have first to open file for him. Yeah. And then we have to pay some fees, and then we have to wait for a bed, and these kind of things will keep him in very risky situation.
True.
It's like that, and it has to move in a way which keeps things healthy, helpful, and in our majority, maybe when he was talking about Nazwa, for example. The behavior for the new generation is different than the old-fashioned, and the behavior of people staying in Dhafar are different than they are in Musandam.
Right.
It's like that. So, and the skills, the learning skills are itself, different from place to place due to the background of their studies in the past. The schools, if they don't have that learning skills, they cannot today getting it unless you will do much training or changing their attitude or their motivations or so on. And we have to open the market. We have to ask anyone would like to do a business, whether they are Omanis or non-Omanis, to come to Oman, do the business easier. And we have actually to restructure things where some companies have been built in the country. The government paid a lot of, the country paid a lot of money, billions, to establish these companies. Today, when you ask them, there is arms, of SMEs working with you? No one. Maybe in some companies you will find that, but the other companies, no arms, from the SME side helping this company. And I'm sure if these could be, I remember in the oil and gas sector, there is this kind of culture there. but it's not available in the other sectors. So we need actually to re-put things again and keep all sectors working, not only one or two sectors,
Right.
and the other sectors are closed.
Like you said, everybody has to come together now to actually work faster and quicker and get
Dialogue
solutions.
is very important in this time, and I believe we have to learn from His Majesty. Is going from place to place, meeting these sheikhs and so on.
Right.
I think we have to meet with the Shura Council people from these municipalities, members, the OCCI, the Chamber of Commerce members. We have to have this dialogue from time to time.
Yes.
And sit and find out how we could work, and this could be transparent to everyone. So Atba knows what's happening
Exactly.
in the country, myself, so everyone knows, and the rule of everyone have to be known. So I know where to go, what to do, and
Right.
It helps.
Cannot be just once a year meeting. There has to be follow-ups. Like you said, dialogue time to time is going to be very important in this situation to help recover the industry.